Hi guys, girls, welcome to another video of NKservices. Today we're going to look at pricing. I've been quoting a couple of jobs this morning. I'm here to price up another one. So just a quick video about how I go about pricing. Firstly, as well, to try and keep it on a professional level, what I have done, and I do advise doing it because it has got me quite a number of favourable comments from new clients. You can see this. Well, basically I've done like a welcome pack, which is written information to what I will discuss with them when I'm quoting the price. So firstly, it mentions thank you for choosing me. Okay, so that's nice to get in there. I mentioned, as we discussed, for me, payment is made through direct debit, which I'm sure you guys know is the company Go Cardless. I highly recommend this. You're not chasing your tail out collecting in evenings. I used to do backs, transfers and PayPal, but after 2 months or 3 months I was still chasing people up because it's relying on them to pay you. Whereas all my customers now, especially any new customers, if they want to use my services, they have to sign up by direct debit on Go Cardless. For the first clean, they can pay me cash in hand, but then they need to set it up by direct debit for the next clean. So that just explains how to go about setting up the direct debit. It also mentions about my Facebook page. It's my way of keeping in contact with my customers, so I get them to like the page. So if I'm on holiday or anything should to happen as an accident as such, I keep my posts on there to let them know, especially for customers who choose for the 8 weekly option. If I'm running a bit late, 9 or 10 weeks, it doesn't happen often, but 9 weeks or 10 weeks, they can begin to wonder, where's the window cleaner, has he stopped? So if they look on my website, they can see if I'm just running late or if I have a week or 2 weeks holiday, for instance. Then it just goes on to highlight the additional services which I have to offer, and usual, pressure washing, soft washing, fascias, soffits, etc. It mentions that I offer a service where I will text them for the side gates. If they opt for that service, so I can get round, and I do leave them a message the night before, plus first thing in the morning. If they still fail to leave the gates open, I will just clean what I can the front, but I will charge them 75% of the value of the house and not just for the fronts. Also, just quickly mentions that I work in the rain, and if they want to know more details about that, it refers them to my website. So that's all contained within this little envelope letter. Fridge magnet, everybody loves a fridge magnet, don't they? Okay, so it's just my business card, again just highlighting the services that I have to offer, and that goes into a nice little envelope which I can hand to them once they agree on the quote. Okay, I try to have a set procedure in mind when I'm quoting a price. In the past I used to gauge it on time, if I've got more in the area or not in the area, for instance, and then you look in the clouds and you pluck a figure from the heavens as such to decide that price then. However, there's so many things wrong with all of those options, so I suggest that when it comes to pricing, you have a clear structure in mind. Now for myself, most of my work is 4 weekly. I'm trying to get someone to 8 weekly now, just to help with scheduling, and also 8 weekly you can charge a fraction more. Okay, so basically 4 weekly prices. My price is between 50p to £2, but that's not per window, it's per pane of glass. Okay. The reason is from 50p upwards. I have a minimum charge, as outlined on my website, of a £10 minimum fee. But when I'm quoting the larger houses, for instance, I would calculate it at maybe 50 pence per panel. So a big window with 3 panels, depending on the size, would either be 50 pence per panel, £1.50, or as a complete unit it might be £2 upwards. So it all depends on the house, on the area, how dirty the windows is, etc. One thing I do recommend is a first clean price. So for instance, I've just quoted come from a clean in quite a nice area for this side of Doncaster. I gave them a couple of options. The price was, let me just bear with me, I have to write it all down nowadays. Later I will put it on to I use Squeegee app. I don't know if you guys use that, it's quite good. But the house I've just done was, for the house itself, was every 4 weeks was £18. If they wanted the conservatory, which were just large doors, basically bifold doors, that would take it to £25 every 4 weeks. So taking it by the house, every 8 weeks it went up from £18 to £25. Okay, and then for the conservatory it's an extra £12 on top of either one of those prices. Okay, so today I've done a first clean, so instead of being £18, it was £25, and also the conservatory, I just kept that at £12. So for them they're paying £35 for the first clean, and they've opted for every 4 weeks. On that particular house, if I counted it as 50p per pane of glass, it was heading into £30 odd, which is a bit too much for someone to do every 4 weeks. I certainly wouldn't get that job. So therefore you've got to adjust accordingly. Okay, so the price every 8 weeks would take it to that at or just fraction lower at £25, like I mentioned, but they've opted for every 4, so that's taken it to £18. Okay, so I adjusted the price accordingly. So reason for this waffle, the next video you're going to see that I'm going to edit onto here is we're going to go price up a house. Okay, so we'll have a look around that house and we'll see what's what. And my camera's sliding. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so this is the house I've come to price. A bay window I normally charge just £5 for a bay. So we've got the bay upstairs, the bay downstairs, so that's £10 in itself. The windows here, for that window I will charge £1.50. So we've got £11.50 at front. The door, just put that in for £1, so that would be £12.50 just for the front. If we base it on that calculation. Okay, so 50p for that one, £1 for that one, £1.50. £2. For the doors, I would charge them £4, £2 a pane, and 2 again, so 2, 4, 6, 8 for the back. And the upstairs windows, 3 panes, £1.50. Okay, so that's how we'd price this one. Okay, so just touching that house up on that basis, it's £23 for the house itself. Now in this particular area they certainly won't pay £23, so my thumb's in the way the camera. Okay, so they won't actually pay £23 on a 4-weekly basis. Round here the window cleaners normally charging between £8 and £10 for these houses. Now I do like to charge more than the usual window cleaners because obviously we want to come across as professional, and we are doing a much better job, and I've got my business costs to cover as well. Okay, so the offer I'm going to send to her, she's not in at the moment, she's working. That's why I was able to film that particular house. Although the neighbours were coming out asking questions as well, so I don't like to particularly film a house for too long, so that's why I've jumped into the van. Okay, so basically I'll be offering £23 at every 8 weeks. Okay, or reducing that down to £18 every 4 weeks. So I'm going to send that text to her now and see if we get the job. Okay, and that envelope that I mentioned, well, I'll simply post it through her door for if I get the job. Okay, catch you later. Sorry for It's quite a lengthy video, this one, because I've pieced a number together, but I just wanted to add this one because after I quoted that job, I texted the customer, gave her the two choices, £18 or £23. She opted for the 4 weekly clean as well, and the first clean was £20. I mentioned some people came out, neighbours wondering what I was doing, looking around and filming the house. Anyway, next door but one came to me as I was cleaning. It's obviously seen the hose pipe. He was just coming out to ask some questions, really. Quite impressed. We got talking, explained about it being purified water and the benefits of such. I also use hot water, as many of the ones who subscribe know that I have hot water in the back. So he was quite impressed. He wanted to have a look at the fan, so I showed him all of that. But the main reason being, he asked how much. So I told him his house was identical to the one I just quoted, so I explained 18 or 23. He nearly choked. It's much more. People in that area was charging £8 for those houses. So he wanted me to do as a one-off clean, and then he can decide from there if to go 4 weekly or 8 weekly. I apologised to him that I don't do 8 week one-off cleans. I haven't got time for one-off cleans. If he's wanting me to do it on a regular basis, and that's perfectly fine, but one-offs I don't. His reason for that is to double check to see if it dries clear. So I mentioned to him, well, if he comes back in a couple of minutes, by the time I finish the house, the front windows with hot water on a day like today will be clean. So I went back to shout him so he can have a look round the windows, because I knew the client was out for the day. I'm sure she won't mind, it's a neighbour. So he had a look round, and he was more impressed with the leaflet that I showed him, which is this one. Try and get these. I'm going to write this one here, which when I go into a new area, after a couple of cleans, I'll be posting these up and down the street, just saying that I clean in the area. He was more impressed with the uniform, with the signs on the fan setup, and like he mentioned, it's a high cost, so what was he getting out of that? He could see that this was a business, it was a professional business. He could see that I was in here for long term, not doing it for 6 months, and come winter I'm going to be jacking in. So he could see all of that, so he's booked me in for 4 weeks time, just because of the uniform and the professionalism of it all. So it goes to proof, doesn't it? Okay, I just thought I'd put that on the end. Say if I've bored you senseless. Enjoy your day. Cheers, guys.